Hello, my name is Daniel. I'm a professional actor living in Lethbridge, a creative and resilient little city nestled into the coulees amidst the vast prairie landscape of Alberta. This city, its people and views have stolen my heart over the years, much like the works and words of a certain poet, William Shakespeare. Welcome to Thy Bard Shakesonnet, where I sit down with a handful of local Lethbridge artists like myself to both shake down and shake up a handful of Shakespeare's age-old sonnets. Each artist and I will discuss a single sonnet over the course of an episode before creating our very own in the next.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
In this episode, we are shaking up none other than William Shakespeare's 15th sonnet. But we needn't do so alone. Oh no, please join me in welcoming Katrina.
Violet!
Thank you so much for being here with me, Katrina. And thank you to everybody tuning in. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 7 territory, which is also home to Métis Nation Region 3. So stanza 1, lines 1 through 4, we made it midnight blue. Do you remember why?
I remember talking about constellations and the color of the night sky and how it always felt infinite.
So let's dive into line 1 from the original. With 10 syllables, it reads, "When I consider everything that grows," and this will set our A rhyme for stanza 1, so we'll come back to this rhyme in line 3. But yeah, what stands out to you in this line? Where do you think we should go with our first line?
Growing makes me think of plants and nature,
Right.
which is so not where my headspace is at all.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about the sky and the constellations. I don't know, my reaction to that is to like thinking about everything that's around us.
Like time is a character in here.
Yeah.
Do we want to introduce time right away?
Now I'm just thinking about time having hands
Okay.
that touch.
I mean, that makes me think of the hands of a clock.
Hands of time touch. I like that. Ooh, thinking about the touch of time. Hands.
Thinking about the touch of time's hands. We got one syllable there. What about while thinking about the touch of time's hands?
Ooh, because then it can lead into the next.
the next
I like
line?
that.
Does
While
that work for you?
thinking
Okay.
about the touch of time's hands. I like this.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. So let's dive into line 2 from stanza 1 with 11 syllables. It reads, "Holds in perfection but a little moment." Great. So line 2 here, this will set our B rhyme. Yeah. What direction should we take it? We're kind of leading, we're kind of continuing, it seems like, from the first line, but
I almost want to talk about I wonder how I'll keep you this beautiful for eternity, even though we can't.
I wonder.
I wonder how I might hold your beauty here.
That's 11.
How do you feel about that?
I think that's good, yeah. And bringing that idea of beauty in here,
Yeah.
for sure. Awesome. Let's dive into line 3 of stanza 1 from the original. With 10 syllables, it reads, "That this huge stage presenteth naught but shows." Great. And so this will complete our A rhyme. So we're going to work towards something that rhymes with hands.
I feel like I really like the word stand, you take a stand,
Yeah.
you know? But how do you stand up to time?
I like this idea of taking a stand.
Yeah. That goes into what we talked about last episode about are we in defiance
Right.
or not? I think that this is now us saying, yes, we're in defiance. We're trying to defy time.
Dang.
What about when time proves a bigger threat than I can stand? When time proves a bigger threat than I can stand. So that's only 11.
That's only 11, so we just
Yeah.
need to get rid of one syllable.
To be a threat?
When time proves to be a threat,
That
I can't stand. We would have to get rid of that. Does
great.
that work for you?
That works for me.
Great. Let's dive into line 4 from the original first stanza. With 12 syllables, it reads, "Whereon the stars in secret influence comment." And so this will finish our B rhyme for stanza 1. Where do you think we should take this line?
Keep thinking about time conspiring with the stars. They're in this together, you know?
Yeah.
There's the stars, there's the Grim Reaper, and there's time. They're all holding hands, and they're all against this one human.
Yeah.
Who doesn't stand a chance.
And we're trying to rhyme with here. Should we think of some rhyming words for here? Here.
Fear.
Peer. Fear is good.
Fear is great.
Adhere.
I think I like fear or adhere.
Let's maybe run with fear.
Fear?
That works for you?
Let's do fear. Let's do fear. Okay.
So if we're working towards fear, how should we start our fourth line?
I'd fear loss. I'd fear failure.
I like what you're saying about loss. So like, and the thought of your loss
Is something that I fear.
and the
And the thought of your loss is my biggest fear. 11. Maybe we don't do it, but I did say I wanted to keep stars.
No, I love that. Yeah, losing them.
And losing you to the stars is my biggest fear.
And losing you to the stars is my biggest fear.
Boom! I'm a genius.
Great. Let's hear that all together and make sure it works for us. While thinking about the touch of time's hands, I wonder how I might hold your beauty here. When time proves to be a threat I can't stand, and losing you to the stars is my biggest fear. Yeah, does that work for you?
Beautiful, juicy.
Awesome. Let's dive into stanza 2 from the original, lines 5 through 8. We made it light blue. Do you remember why?
The sky. The morning sky. The contrast between like the night sky and the day sky.
Right. Yes. And I remember us talking briefly about like bird's eye view versus in the moment, what's right around you, kind of being more present. Yeah. Let's take a look at line 5 from the original. With 10 syllables, it reads, "When I perceive that men as plants increase." And this will set our C rhyme for stanza 2. So we'll come back to this rhyme in line 7. But yeah, where should we take this first line of our second stanza?
When I perceive that men as plants increase, it's almost like, I understand that we're only human.
Yeah, we live and we grow and we die like plants.
Like
and
everything else.
Yeah.
I understand we are only human is literally 10.
Does that work for you?
That works for me. If that works for you, I realized that I spewed words. And they work.
You spewed great words, yeah. Let's dive into line 6 from the original. With 10 syllables, it reads, "Cheered and checked even by the self-same sky." What direction do you think we should go in?
Living under the same sky.
I'm going to throw a different beginning out there.
Absolutely, give it.
Subject to the same sky. Like as though we're like subject to it. Like we don't choose it.
Yeah, I like
it's
that.
It's like imposed on us, like
subject to the same.
I understand we are only human and subject to.
I almost want to say like subject to the brutal will of the stars.
Why?
I don't know.
Just cause?
Just came to my brain.
That's all good, yeah. So subject to the brutal will of the stars. That's 10.
Yeah.
I'm good with brutal if you are.
I'm good with brutal.
Great. Let's take a look at line 7 from the original sonnet. With 10 syllables, it reads, "Vaunt in their youthful sap at height decrease." Great. And so this will finish our C rhyme for stanza 2. So we're going to try and rhyme something with human.
Could we do ruin?
Human.
Ruin.
So yeah, maybe we work towards ruin.
Oh, I love that. That they will bring about our ruin.
I understand we are only human, subject to the brutal will of the stars.
Intent on bringing about our ruin. Like there's...
Intent on bringing about our ruin. That's 10.
I am just saying, I think me and Shakespeare...
You're vibing.
Maybe I'm a reincarnation.
Okay, let's take a look at line 8 from the original. With 10 syllables, it reads, "And wear their brave state out of memory." Great, and this will finish our D rhyme. So we're going to be rhyming with stars. Yeah, how should we end our second stanza?
Stars, fars, Mars. Bars?
Bars, yeah. About our ruin. Like bars, we behind bars,
Yeah.
like locked away.
Oh.
And maybe our only refuge is with time, locked in this cycle.
Oh. Or is it like our refuge is locked behind time's bars?
Okay, yeah,
Like
yeah.
time holds immortality to itself.
Yeah.
It's locked away where we can't get to it. There's no key. There's our refuge. Yeah, I was going to say our only refuge.
Our one refuge, our only refuge locked behind time's bars.
I like that.
Yeah, that works for you? Let's hear stanza 2 all together and make sure it works for us. I understand we are only human, subject to the brutal will of the stars, intent on bringing about our ruin, our only refuge locked behind time's bars. Does that work for you?
I think we're poets.
I think so too. Let's dive into stanza 3, lines 9 through 12. We made it a purple, I believe a deep purple. Do you remember why?
I had settled on purple because of that last line in the stanza talking about youthful day versus sullied night.
Yeah.
And so youthful day to me is like a pastel-y color, and I don't know, it's a budding color, and budding makes me think of flowers. Flowers makes me think of pink. So then that's pink, but then sullied night is this like dark blue, and if you put the two together, it's purple.
Awesome. Let's dive into this. So
Great.
let's take a look at line 9 from the original. With 10 syllables, it reads, Then the conceit of this inconstant stay. And this will set our E rhyme for stanza 3 here. So we'll come back to this rhyme in line 11 later. But yeah, what direction should we take line 9?
What's locked behind time's bars? Immortality. We don't have that because we are mortal. Almost like being mortal.
Yeah, maybe this person is giving into it, but this person that they're writing about is in defiance of it somehow. And this is where that person comes in. So it's like,
Though I am finite, you are infinite. So though I am finite, you are infinite.
I feel like I like that a little better.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Great. And then let's move forward into line 10. From the original with 10 syllables, it reads, Sets you most rich in youth before my sight. Great. And this will set our F rhyme for stanza 3 here, which we'll get to in line 12. But yeah, so you want to continue with this idea of infinite and finite? And
Like something about the universe in your eyes. We don't
Yeah.
have to settle on eyes, or the eyes are the window to the soul.
yeah. I like
Eyes are
that.
just super powerful.
They really are. So though I am finite, you are infinite. Like,
I almost want to say like you create, like you hold the power to create.
I'm going back to like time. So, and in your eyes,
I almost want to say like in your eyes time surrenders to you.
and in your eyes, time surrenders to you. That
Yeah.
is 10. Does that work for us?
I think so.
Should we just see where it goes?
Yeah.
Let's dive into line 11 from the original. With 10 syllables, it reads, Where wasteful time debateth with decay. Great. And so we're going to finish our E rhyme for stanza 3. So we're going to rhyme with infinite. What about like intimate? Infinite?
Ooh,
Intimate?
I like intimate.
Yeah?
I like intimate a lot.
Okay.
Like something about like time feels intimate. Like it feels
Yeah.
vulnerable.
I like this idea of vulnerability and like almost taking time, if time could feel nostalgia or like
Yeah.
taking time back to something.
Like making itself intimate.
What about time surrenders to you, taken aback by...
You being so intimate. Almost like taken aback by being.
Okay,
Just take out the...
Yeah.
Well, taken aback by being intimate.
It's certainly interesting.
Now I'm picturing like the Grim Reaper in time and the stars all cuddling. Like, hold hands and snuggle.
Shall we run with it?
Let's run with it.
Great.
Let's say yes.
Awesome.
Yes, let's.
Yes, let's look at line 12 from the original, which has 10 syllables and reads, To change your day of youth to sullied night. Great. So this will complete our F rhyme for stanza 3 here. So we're rhyming with you. So it's like, there's a lot of options
Yeah,
there.
true.
True.
Stew.
Do.
Flew.
Imbue.
Anew. Askew.
In lieu.
In lieu.
Okay, so from the original, like line 12, there was the day of youth to sullied night. There's that contrast there. Do you want to try and include something like that here?
I think so. I think that we can include that contrast while like still relating it to time being taken aback by being intimate. Like almost like time doesn't want to do this to you. Yeah, there's a word that I'm not thinking of, but it's like knowing you have to do something but you don't want to.
Obligation, duty.
Yeah, obligated to do what it has to, but still obligated to follow through.
But still obligated to follow through. That's 10 syllables. So, tell you what, let's read stanza 3 all together and see if it works for us. Though I am finite, you are infinite, and in your eyes, time surrenders to you, taken aback by being intimate, but still obligated to follow through. Does that work for you?
I think so.
Yeah? Great. So diving into the rhyming couplet at the end here, lines 13 and 14, we made it pink. Do you remember why?
This still felt soft and lovely, and this person was trying to say that they would keep them forever alive in their words, but then there was still that like act of war.
Yes.
And war makes me think of red.
Right.
So I just kind of softened that and went pink.
So let's take a look at line 13 from the original. With 10 syllables, it reads, and all in war with time for love of you. Great. And this will set our G rhyme for the rhyming couplet. But yeah, what direction should we take the end of our sonnet in?
Maybe through this bond, they've become friends with death.
I love this idea of like a friendship maybe, but still obligated to follow through. Although this friendship you have formed,
results in death. I'm almost stuck on this idea of like time will hold you until your death. The sky's your witness on your last breath.
I love this idea of bringing that holding back, like that it's like a time will hold you, which is potentially a comforting thing, but it will still end in death.
Yeah.
Time may hold you softly till...
Until your death.
Time may hold you softly until your death.
That's really beautiful.
Are we good with that?
I'm quite good with that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, time may hold you softly until your death. I like it. Should we run with it?
Let's run with it.
Great. Let's take a look at line 14 from the original with 10 syllables. It reads, as he takes from you, I engraft you new. And this will finish our G rhyme. And like one of the ideas we had was breath. Rhyming with death. And you mentioned sky, bringing that back.
I think I said,
yes,
sky was your witness, or sky's your witness.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not sky, but like it's almost like time may hold you softly until your death, but I'm the witness of your last breath. I just hurt myself.
Oh, no. So, time may hold you softly until your death, but I am the witness of your last breath. Great. Shall we hear it all together? While thinking about the touch of time's hands, I wonder how I might hold your beauty here. When time proves to be a threat I can't stand, and losing you to the stars is my biggest fear. I understand we are only human, subject to the brutal will of the stars, intent on bringing about our ruin, our only refuge locked behind time's bars. Though I am finite, you are infinite, and in your eyes, time surrenders to you, taken aback by being intimate, but still obligated to follow through. Time may hold you softly until your death, but I am the witness of your last breath. Stay tuned for our next episode where we look at yet another sonnet with our next guest.